Hi, hello. I'm Janine. I've never done one of these videos before. I feel a little bit weird. How do you do this? I don't know. Is this right? I don't know. I've only ever done videos with Caitlin, so hi. I guess welcome to this episode of Lady Killers. Caitlin's not with me today. I was editing this video and I was like, we didn't do any kind of story time. We didn't do any kind of narrative of what we're doing. So I feel like you guys would be like, wait, where are you? And like, what's going on? So I just decided to do a little story time of it. So we went to Austin. It was a couple weeks ago. It was a bit ago. And while we were there, we were like, let's go ahead and see what we can film, see what we can do here. So we looked up 3 different stories of Austin true crime murderers. Mitsuha, come here, Bean. Come here, Bean. Come here. There's no Caitlin today, however, there is a Mitsuha. There is a Mitsuha. Got our little noodle cat here with us today. So you shouldn't be lacking in anything. Well, Caitlin's not here, so obviously you're lacking, but Mitsuha will do her best to fill in. So, we were in Austin a few weeks ago, and we decided to do some filming while we were there. We talked about 3 different murders, 3 different true crime stories, yeah. 2 of which happened pretty recently, one of which happened in the 1800s. The first place we went to was Orange Tree Condos, which was the site of a murder. I'll let Caitlin tell you about it. So I'm kind of like story timing this. Caitlin was with me and told actually most of the story. So her brother actually lived in these condos for a little bit. By the way, there's a lot of noise pollution in a lot of these because a lot of it was literally shot at the side of the road, in the car, in like a shopping center kind of area. So not the best quality ever. But what can you do?
Okay, so right now we're standing in front of the Orange Tree Condominiums, which is like right on Sorority and Fraternity Row, around the University of Texas at Austin. It was here that Jennifer Cave's body was brutally cut into pieces by Pitniak and Laura Hall, who just randomly had killed her and decided that it would be fun to chop up her body and put it in a bathtub.
Because why not?
Why not?
So, I didn't pay for parking.
The Texas law is basically like, this is the case that keeps, it went up for the Texas Supreme Court, and basically you can no longer, it's not legal to desecrate a body in the state of Texas anymore. It's like a different crime on its own.
Okay.
Yeah.
So was that law because like the murderer desecrated it, or did someone afterwards?
It was just like tampering with a body.
Okay.
And it wasn't a big crime, and it wasn't associated with getting rid of evidence really. So with this case, it ended up being its own kind of federal crime.
All right.
I think it's not just Texas law. I think it's a federal crime because of Jennifer, but I don't really remember. Here we are, spooky.
Spooky spook. All right, next place. Okay, so after Orange Tree Condos, we moved on to the Yogurt Shop murders, which they were some murders that happened in Austin in the 1990s. Mitsuha, hey! No, in the 1990s. And yeah, so here we go. We're actually here where the Austin Yogurt Shop murders happened. So the story on that is it's when 4 teenage girls died, and then the yogurt shop they were working in was set aflame. So it was the bodies of 13-year-old Amy Ayers, 17-year-old Jennifer Harbison, and her sister, 15-year-old Sarah, and then 17-year-old Eliza Thomas were discovered after the fires were extinguished, like so in the building. It was shortly before midnight this happened. On December 6, 1991, a patrolling Austin police officer noticed a fire coming from, I can't believe it's yogurt, ! Which is what this storefront was called, and reported it to his dispatcher. After the fire was extinguished, they found the 4 bodies with 3 stacked like on top of one another. All were found undressed but bound and gagged with their own clothes. Each victim had been shot in the head, thus leading police to determine that the teenagers had died before the fire even started. So I mean, it's very obvious they were, tortured, killed before the fire was started, and then probably the fire was used either to try to cover up evidence, I think that's the biggest thing. Probably
Yeah,
just
probably.
To get rid of the evidence, to just
or even just like to finish it off. Like
Yeah.
if you're like not sure.
or like to
With fingerprints is probably like the number one, and like DNA. They're probably...
Just before the murders, the girls had been seen alive at the yogurt shop as late as 10 o'clock. They had planned for a sleepover that night. So I think it was like they all had they worked here?
So, two of them worked there.
Okay.
One of them's just the sister, and then the other one's just a friend.
Okay.
And I know at least one of them worked there, and that's why they were meeting up there.
So they were,
because she
like-
was ending her shift.
Right. They were like closing up. She was closing up. They were heading out, and I guess that's whenever it happened.
Apparently there was like a suspicious guy in the yogurt shop that came in
Okay.
late, but like no one knows if he was like involved at all.
Right. And it says that they found them just a little past midnight. Around midnight or so, around like 11 or so. So I mean, this happened like it's sad. They must have been like walking out or closing up, and
Well, it's like they only know it's happening too because the like storefront's on fire.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah, it all happens really quick. Austin police admit that over 50 people had confessed to the murders.
What?
That's weird. That's like 50 people have come forward.
or like me. Why would you do that?
I don't know. That's weird. On Wednesday, October 6, 1999, police in Texas and West Virginia arrested 4 suspects in connection with the murders. Robert Burns Springsteen Jr., he was 24, was arrested in Charleston. Michael James Scott, who was 25, was arrested in Buda, Texas. He was arrested in Austin, sorry. Maurice Pierce, 24, was arrested in Louisville, north of Dallas. And Forrest Wellborn, who was 23, was picked up in Lockhart, Texas, southeast of Austin. So this was in 1999. That is
8 years later.
8 years later. So they would have if they were all like in their early 20s,
Yeah.
mid 20s,
They were teens.
they would have been like 13 to 15, which seems unlikely to me, but it's...
They wouldn't have been that young.
Well, let's see, if he was
they would
25,
have
he would have been...
he would have been 16.
But then if he was 23, I guess you're right, he would have been 14.
Yeah.
So 14, 15, 16, that's...
I feel like that's
possible.
something, like, kids that age do violent acts.
But
like,
for 4 girls,
Well, but, like, maybe they knew them. Like, seeing as, like, violent crime is normally committed by people that know them.
Yeah.
It's also, you're less likely to be suspicious of a 15-year-old boy if you're, like, a 15-year-old girl.
True.
So it's like if they're coming in, like, right at the end of your shift, you're not going to be like, please go home. You're going to
Yeah.
be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, good
Like,
point.
you
Good
know?
point. They could have been friends. The prosecution stated at one hearing that DNA evidence in the case had been tested against more than 70 people, including these 4 men, and failed to match. Charges against Wellborn were dropped when an Austin grand jury failed to indict him. Charges were later dropped against Pierce. Only the cases against Scott and Springsteen went to trial because of DNA and evidence. The investigation was complicated by matters internal to the Austin Police Department. Detective Hector Polanco was fired for allegedly coercing confessions. The Texas Court of Criminals Appeals overturned Robert Springsteen's conviction on the bias of unfair trial. The U.S. Supreme Court refused to reinstate the conviction in February 2007. So, okay, long story short, on October 28th, 2009, all charges were dismissed against Scott and Springsteen.
Good.
8, 9, 10, whatever years later, forget the exact
God.
day when they got arrested. The murders were subject of Beverly Lowry's 2016 nonfiction book, Who Killed These Girls? Cold Case, The Yogurt Shop Murders.
That's because, like, when you wandered around Austin for a while, there was a huge billboard that was like, who killed these girls, because the, like, suspects were not found for so long. So that literally they had the photos. The reason this case is so famous, and specifically Austin, is because for about 7 years, I want to say, they had a billboard with these girls' faces lined up that just said, who killed these girls? We can, like, insert it here. It's interesting, though.
So that's that. It's still unsolved. I I didn't realize that they had been released.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those two guys probably didn't do it, I
Like,
guess.
I mean, that's what the official word of the justice system would have to be.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if there was never an official, like, trial, if they were never actually officially indicted, they could always be brought back up on charges, because that's not double jeopardy, but...
So, I mean, assuming that they didn't do it, I mean, it's... Or assuming that they did do it.
You see, like, the reason I'm
Either
assuming
way,
that they
there's no
didn't
justice at this
indict is
point.
because if, like, they knew that they didn't have enough evidence, they're like, we don't want to risk them being
Jail.
not eligible.
Yeah.
And then we can get them if there ever is a time where there's more evidence, but...
Yeah. So that's that.
Yeah.
That happened right over here. It's a little cute little nail salon now. I don't really want to show their storefront.
Yeah, we don't want to get in trouble
yeah.
by showing their thing, but
No,
it's
I
like
don't
right
wanna-
around here.
It's right around here, so we can show the parking lot.
Literally 10 feet behind.
It's behind us.
I think I can show this. I just don't want to show like the like actual storefront.
No, I think that's
So
reasonable.
it's just like right out here. This is the little area. I don't want to like exploit any of these businesses.
see it.
It was like right over here though. This is the parking lot that it happened in.
Well, in one of the storefronts.
Yeah, one of the storefronts.
We won't tell you which one.
I know, we won't tell you which one. I mean, it was very easy for us to find it. You could find it if you wanted to.
know what's in that, like, shopping thing, you can
You could
literally
find
look
it.
up, but it's not our business.
It's not our business.
We don't want to ruin their business, or maybe if we would get them more business, I don't really know. It's not worth knowing.
Either way, it's not our business. So, I digress. Let's move on. Next up, we move right along to the Servant Girl Annihilator, who was a horrible serial killer in the 1800s in many places in the kind of like downtown Austin area, all within kind of like walking distance of each other, which was kind of strange. We drove, it was hot outside, we didn't really know where we were going. You can find a Google Maps kind of where it pinpoints all the places if you'd like to join along in the fun.
So this is 2408 Guadalupe Street, and this is the residence of William B. Dunham. The servants' quarters, as you can see, were located in the rear yard. The old main building of the University of Texas was located just to the southeast, like right there. On a brilliant moonlight night, this quote says, on one of the principal avenues of the city, and 100 yards from the university grounds, open and almost public wholesale murder has been done. The people that were killed were Orange Washington, who was 25 years of age, killed with an axe while asleep. Gracie Vance, who was 20 years old, who was also struck in the head with an axe while sleeping, carried in the backyard, raped and murdered. And Lucinda Body and Patsy Gibson, who were each 17 years old and were attacked and wounded but did not die. This happened on September 28, 1885.
And so we're like, this is the area. We are assuming that that building right there might at least be like the foundations, or like the storefront might be.
Yeah.
The original house, we are unsure. We are assuming that.
We don't 100% know.
No, but it is like this little area right here. And then that's the UT Tower. Some shit happened there and we don't want to talk
We're
about
not
it.
talking
so
about
we're not
that
going to
shit.
talk about that. But we are gonna go eat some donburi.
And then we'll talk more.
Oh, you're my best friend. I went to this cute coffee shop called Lucky Lab, and if you've seen some of our videos, I have the little sticker on my little laptop. They were a really, really cute place. I had an iced chai with cinnamon there. Very good, very sweet. We came like 5 minutes before they closed. They were really sweet to us. 10 out of 10. I don't know, maybe this is a food, coffee, travel vlog too. I don't know. Take whatever you want out of this. So we tried to ask some of the girls who work here like if they knew how old the building was, and they didn't know. So we are unsure if this was like the original building, although it's some gorgeous like old brick.
Yeah.
We're unsure. So to be decided. To be decided. To I don't know.
TBD.
Blah, blah, blah. Here we go. Moving on to some more foodie type deal. We went to this place called Dawn, which was also just walking distance from the first site of the first Servant Girl Annihilator killing. you can see here what they do is they give you little trading cards, and that's what they call out when they call out your food when it's ready. Some beautiful, beautiful local artwork on the walls. I'm obsessed.
I was gonna take a picture of our pretty dons before we ate them all, but alas, we ate them all.
So we move on to some more Servant Girl Annihilator places. So just to like give you a heads up, the kind of like format that we're doing, she'll tell you the story, the victim, what happened, where it happened, and we got to drive by the place where it happened. And of course, this is the 1800s, not the same places as they are now, but where it happened. This is 302, or about the site of 302 East Linden Street. It was the residence of Sophia Whitman.
Yeah.
Is that true? So do you know what what happened to Sophia?
No, she didn't like die. The person that died was Irene Cross, she was the servant girl of Sophia Whitman.
Okay.
And she was 33 years old and was attacked with a knife in bed and died of her wounds on May 23rd, 1885.
Damn, by the Servant Girl Annihilator. Let's kind of go around the back of the building.
Oh, there's a pedicab. Hi, pedicab. He was kind of looking upset. It's about this area. Bye, friends. Hi, so right now we're circling around 300 East Cedar Street, which was the residence of Valentine O'Weed. It's actually 1 block north of the location where Eliza Shelley was killed. The Driscoll Hotel, which is a haunted hotel, is located about 2 blocks northwest of this location. This is actually one of the more tragic cases. The person that was killed at this location was Mary Ramey, who was 11 years of age, raped and murdered. And then Mary's mother, Rebecca Ramey, who is 50 years old, was attacked and wounded. This happened on August 30th, 1885. We're waiting in traffic. This is the Residence Inn, where it says the location of these murders likely happened. And I wonder what concert's going on. I don't miss the days of waiting outside of concerts in the sun and heat for hours. Yeah, same.
I really don't miss that at all.
Okay. I'm getting nice seating now. Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Yeah, and like if I find that you can still get good places even if it's like GA, even if you show up like as the concert's starting. Or like we usually
You can worm your way in.
Yeah, I'm small.
So just literally right down the street from Mary Ramey's murder was a block was the murder of Eliza Shelley on 302 East Cypress Street. That was the residence of Lucien B. Johnson. A quote says that it was a neat cottage on the corner of San Jacinto and Cypress Street. In the southern part of the city, the Central Railroad track being immediately in front of the house. Eliza Shelley was approximately 30 years of age, a mother of 3 small children, and was attacked and killed with an axe in her sleep on May 7th, 1885. It's also worth noting that the Servant Girl Annihilator is also referred to as the Axeman of Austin or the Axeman of Texas. So, do it again. This is the corner of where it happened. It's
Vince Young Steakhouse.
Vince Young Steakhouse. Nice publicity. So also kind of down the street, only a couple blocks away from Mary Ramey and Eliza Shelley, was the murder of Susan Hancock on 203 East Water Street, which was the residence of Moses H. Hancock. At this location, Susan Hancock, who was 41 years of age, was the wife of Moses Hancock, who was 55 years old. The mother of Lena, 15, and Ida, 10, was struck with an axe while sleeping and dragged into the backyard. She died from her wounds on December 28th, 1885. Somewhere around right here is where it happened.
Christmas Eve.
Oh, on Christmas Eve.
I mean, she lived for a couple of days, but she, Christmas Eve.
That's so sad.
Now we're going to 302 West Hickory Street, which is the family residence of James Phillips Sr. and the location where Eula Phillips died. She was 17 years of age and the mother of Thomas, who is 1 year old, and the wife of James Phillips Sr. She was struck with an axe while sleeping, carried into the backyard, and raped and murdered. James Phillips Jr., who was 24 years old, also was attacked and wounded. This happened on December 24th, 1885. So the same night, right? Susan Hancock was attacked also on December 25th, 1885, but she didn't die till December 28th.
UAL or UAL?
Wow.
Wow.
Chewbacca. Schmilly Schmelson, the servant girl and night leader. Schmilly Schmelson.
Alright, it's gonna be coming up here on the left in 5 blocks.
Okay.
Okay.
There's this parking garage up here.
It's the parking garage.
Very parking.
In the very parking garage you're about to see, Eula Phillips died.
Believe it or not, this parking garage was the exact same in the 1880s. It was built in the 1880s.
The original skyscraper.
They haven't done any, like, there's some refurbishments, you know, to keep it up to date, but that's like the same. It's the same building.
Alright.
So this is our last victim, but also the first victim. And this is 901 West Pecan Street, which is the residence of W.K. Hall, 1 block west of Shoal Creek. This is the residence in which Molly Smith, who's about 25 years of age, was attacked with an axe in her sleep, dragged into the backyard, and raped and murdered. Walter Spencer, who was 30 years old, was also attacked and then wounded. This is on December 30th, 1884. The Whole Foods market you're about to see is the location where Miss Molly Smith was murdered and Walter Spencer was attacked. That's a bright light right there.
The servant girl annihilator was actually a major health net.
Yeah.
And being the worst.
You're gonna end right there.
Yeah, that's all.
That's it. That's all you had to say.
Yeah. I just am dumb. Like, that's
Alright,
all.
well, that's everything.
That's
That's
it. And it is worth noting, I think we've said a couple times, but they're all like literally, I don't know if you want to walk towards them all in this 85 degrees, I almost said Houston, Austin weather, but you could potentially walk to all of them. They're all like within like a little zigzag block of one another. They're all just very, that's all.
I liked that finger.
Okay, we're go now.
And okay, well, I think that's it. I've served my purpose. We had plans to shoot a story time while we were there in Austin, but both of us just felt way too tired. So we didn't end up doing it. Let me get Mitsuha and she can tell you goodbye. Please love me. Please love me. She goes, no. Here, we can move this way for the sake of Kat. Okay, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I don't know what else to say. I'm awkward. It's fine. I guess like our social media, like us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. That's really what we get on. I guess we have a Tumblr and a Reddit too. Hi, baby. So I guess go follow us, subscribe, like all the various things you do on all the various social medias, I guess. Yeah. I hope you guys have a great day. I don't know how to end this. I love you guys. Okay.